Hey guys, it's Miss S. I wanted to go over your week 9 1960s assignment. So you either have this page, so it says listening and responding at the top, and these are all Beatles songs. See how it says the Beatles? Or you have this one. You have one of these, and you only need to do that one that I sent you, okay? So let's go back to this one. So last time I saw you slash talked to you, we did 1950s. So that was with Elvis. That was rock and roll. So we're going to move on to the next decade. So 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We're on the 60s now. So the biggest or one of the biggest bands that came out of that time was the Beatles. So that's why we're going to do some listening to the Beatles this week. So I want you to get this paper out or this one. Excuse you. Or this one. I'm going to show you a short video on the Beatles. Then we're going to watch them perform. They were from, well, you'll see in the video, but they were from Britain, and they were one of the first British bands that really were popular in America too. A lot of bands that were popular in America were from America, and they are also rock and roll. So it's that kind of rock and roll that's not exactly like ours now. It's a little more chill. But yeah, so let's watch this short little video.
The Beatles, in a nutshell. The Beatles were an extraordinary rock band from Liverpool, England, that wrote and performed extremely popular music from 1960 to 1970 and still influence musicians and culture today. They sold more records worldwide than any other band. But why were John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr so successful and influential? Because of their talent, practice, personality, innovation and timing, and probably their iconic mop-top hairstyle. When Lennon and McCartney first started playing with Stuart Sutcliffe, Pete Best and George Harrison, the two singer-songwriters' talents already showed. Several years of playing clubs in Liverpool and Hamburg, Germany, honed their skills. They started experimenting, and their music rooted in skiffle and rock and roll evolved into beat. That's how they got their name. By the time the Beatles recorded their first single, Sutcliffe had died and Best was replaced by Ringo Starr. The Beatles became the funny, attractive and charming Fab Four we know. Finally, they also had perfect timing. The post-war generation wanted to rebel against their parents' authoritative culture. The Beatles, with their untraditional aspirations and style, were exactly what the kids had been looking for. Youth culture was born. With little competition from other bands, the fan base and enthusiasm grew into the famous Beatlemania. Via the new mass media, the Beatles were suddenly everywhere and helmed the British invasion into America, followed by other British bands like the Rolling Stones. Through the success in the US, Beatlemania rolled across the globe. The Fab Four stayed on top during the rest of the decade by experimenting with songwriting, recording, and their visual style. By moving from sweet pop to avant-garde rock, they always kept reinventing themselves and stayed on the cutting edge. The Beatles had dozens of #1 hits like Hey Jude and A Hard Day's Night. They recorded 12 core albums, including Abbey Road and Let It Be. Additionally, the band made 5 feature films, received 10 Grammy Awards, and even an Oscar. But in 1970, the Beatles broke up, and all 4 members pursued their individual musical careers, often collaborating with one another. Then, only 10 years later, John Lennon was shot. In 2001, George Harrison died of cancer. The Beatles changed the music business forever by writing their own music, recording comprehensive albums instead of just individual songs, by introducing music videos, and playing large-scale live concerts. Even more far-reaching is the birth of youth and pop culture. The young have driven the media market ever since. Last but not least, these icons of 1960s counterculture opened people's minds to women's liberation, gay rights, and environmentalism. The Beatles didn't just provide entertainment, they brought on a revolution.
All right, so the Beatles were a huge deal. They're one of the most popular bands of all time. So I wanted to show you one of the first times that they performed in America on television. So they're going to play a song called I Want to Hold Your Hand. And the Ed Sullivan Show and the Ed Sullivan Theater is still in New York City. So pretty close to us.
Oh yeah, tell you something, I think you'll understand. When I say that something, I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. Oh, please say to me, you let me be your man. And please say to me, you let me hold your hand. You let me hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling I can't hide, I can't hide, I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something, I think you understand. When I say that something, I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold. All right. Does the audience like them? How can you tell? Because they're smiling, screaming, waving, all that good stuff, right? Yup. Hold your hand. When I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I got and you got that something I think you understand. When I say that something, I wanna hold your hand. 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 Yeah, so you can see how popular they were, right? Yeah, people loved them. All right, so if you have, let's do this one first. If you have this paper, I wrote down a couple things that you can put. So you're going to listen to Yesterday, Let It Be, Come Together, Day Tripper, Help, Penny Lane, and Get Back. You don't have to listen to the whole song, just enough to get your opinion on it and things that we do in the listening logs. So tempo, fast or slow. What genre is it? Is it rock and roll? Is it more pop? Is it both? Do you like the song? What am I missing? What instruments do you hear? So, example, for yesterday, I wrote, I like the singing. And then, because I really liked the song, I put 10 out of 10. All right, so that's how you rate a song. That's what that's called. So if you put a 0 out of 10, that means I really didn't like it.
If you put like a 5, that means I halfway liked it, but it wasn't the best. And then 0 out of 10, like I put here, means I didn't like it at all. So I don't like that it's slow. I like the drums, but it wasn't a 10 out of 10. It was like an 8 out of 10. So it was like, it was all right. But if you have trouble, 10 out of 10 is really good. 5 out of 10 is so-so. It's okay. And 0 out of 10 is I didn't like it. Okay? And now if you have this sheet, you're going to listen to Day Tripper and you're going to write, what do you think the first instrument in this song is? And write your answer. Then Yesterday, do you think the mood of this song is happy or sad? So we do these things in class. Let It Be. In your opinion, what message are the lyrics of this song trying to get across? What do the words mean in Let It Be? So you might have to find a YouTube video for this with the words on it, or you can Google lyrics to Let It Be. Love Me Do. Count how many times the band sing Love Me Do. It's probably a lot. I'll find the answer. And then Yellow Submarine. Do you like this song? List 3 reasons why or why not. So most of these things we've done in class for both. This is similar to the Michael Jackson stuff I gave you in week 1, so a while ago. All right, guys. So if you need any help, please ask someone to email me. You can write on the classroom wall. You can have a parent leave me a message or text my Google Voice. And that's all I got for you today, guys. Have a good day.